Hi, I'm Cindy Williams. This is today's gratitude. Sigrid. My first job that wasn't babysitting or working for my dad or working for my friend's mom who had a catering service was as a hotel clerk in Tyler, Texas at the Sheraton, which was the fanciest hotel in town at the time. President Gerald Ford stayed there when he visited Tyler, and they completely redid the honeymoon suite for him because it had curtains, bedspread, and wallpaper all covered with pictures of half-naked Victorian ladies. They thought he might be a little offended by that. I had just turned 18 and I was about to start junior college. The terrifying German woman who interviewed me, Sigrid, hired me on the spot. Probably she was impressed because I had been sent by an employment agency. Little did she know, it was my dad's employment agency. I remember driving home in whatever beater it was I had back then, singing Bellboy by The Who in my best Keith Moon imitation. I got a job and I'm fully formed. You should see me dressed up in my uniform. I work in a hotel, all gilt and flash. I was so damn proud of myself for getting that job. Who the hell hires a totally inexperienced 18-year-old to work alone at a hotel front desk from 3 to 11 p.m.? Sigrid did. That's who. And it was a really difficult job. Mostly we had business travelers and most of them were in a really bad mood, and Tyler was dry and I had to explain that to them and then charge them an extra $3 so they could get a membership to the hotel bar. And a lot of sweating men in business suits yelled at me. When I took a break, I would go into the bathroom and kick the walls and scream so I wouldn't actually attack the hotel guests. And I hated my uniform. I hated it. It was gray and polyester, and I had to wear this hideous Sheraton scarf with it. Ugh. I contrived to spill oily salad dressing over the entire uniform and ruined it, and convinced my mom to remake the entire uniform in a lightweight, tasteful gray wool. Thanks, Mom. I don't know why you did that. You had way too much else to do. I got these tiny temporary tattoos and I put them next to my eye and wore blue tinted wire rims with them to make it clear I was not a corporate clone. Sigrid never said a word about the tattoos, but she scolded me regularly for my uniform. Sigrid was terrifying. Her version of a German accent was barky and harsh. She was very strict and she scolded me a lot. I thought she hated me, and I didn't like her too much. She was probably about 40. She was tall and lanky, and she had magnificent bone structure. She wore tons of blue eyeshadow, which everyone in Tyler did back then. And her makeup was always full battle and perfect. She had short red hair, cut in a little pixie cut, but I did not know that for a while because she always wore a black wig in this up and down do with bangs, and it was piled up really high with this cascade of black curls down her back. It looked a lot like the wig that the actress who played Candy Pruitt wore in Here Come the Brides. Sigrid managed the hotel, and she lived in the hotel somewhere. I was alone every night between 10 and 11 p.m. The restaurant would close, the bellman would go home, and every hotel around us got robbed when the clerk was there alone at night. Sigrid told me if I got robbed, to tell the robbers I couldn't open the safe, which was true, and that I had to call the manager, and then I was supposed to call her and say, "We have a problem, Bill," and she would call the police. I never got robbed, but between 10 and 11, I checked in a lot of men with much younger women who were dressed. I was supposed to ask if they were married, if the couple seemed off somehow, but I never did. One Sunday, I was working the morning shift for a change. I liked working on Sunday mornings. people were usually much more cheerful when they were checking out than when they'd been checking in, and they were happy to go home. And back in the olden days, people from Tyler would sometimes come and get breakfast in the hotel and hang out in the lobby and drink coffee and read the newspaper and gossip, and I just really liked that vibe. There was this little tiny old man who usually showed up on Sunday wearing a crumpled suit, and he bought the Sunday paper and he read it and he watched the people coming and going, and I thought he was adorable. This Sunday, he came to the front desk with a quarter, and smiling, he tapped it on the counter and asked if I could give him a dime. Yes, children, the Sunday paper cost 10 cents. I felt really witty, and I said, hey, I'll even throw in a free nickel and dime with that. And he smiled, and I gave him his change, and he said, you're a very lovely young woman. Oh, thank you, I said. His eyes drifted down. And you have lovely breasts. I wrapped my arms around my chest. How much would it cost to touch them? I stared at him, and he stared back, and I fled into the back office where Sigrid sat, wigless, wearing hardly any makeup, casual, just reading her newspaper. It was the first time I saw her without her wig. I didn't even realize that pile of hair wasn't growing out of her head. I burst into tears and told her what happened. She grabbed her wig and shoved it on her head. Stay here. And she ran out to the front desk and kicked that old man out of the hotel. And she came back into the office, pulled her wig off, and said, he will never bother you again. And she made it very clear that if anyone ever did anything like that again, that she would kick them out immediately. I guess I would say from Sigrid, I learned that you don't have to like somebody to take care of them. Or maybe you don't know who your guardian angel is until you need them. Thanks for looking out for a pretty mediocre hotel clerk, Sigrid. I got cast in a play and I quit. I think I worked there for about 3 months.